Hey, Travis kiddos. We're going to do the interactive read aloud. You might already be able to guess what story this will be by looking at the picture. Today's story is Goldilocks. You might already know a version of Goldilocks, so this one might be a little bit different, but should have the same general story. We're going to figure out what might a little girl find in the home of a small, a medium, and a great big bear. The vocabulary words in this story are organize, distinguish, entire, classify, and startled. When we get to those words, we'll stop for a second to talk about what they mean. Once upon a time, 3 bears lived together in a cozy cottage. There was a teeny tiny baby bear, a middle-sized mama bear, and a great big papa bear. The cottage was organized perfectly for 3 bears. What does organize mean? When you organize things, you put them in a certain order. You might like to organize your crayons by size. You might organize your closet by color or type of clothes. Organize. They had all they needed, and they were very happy there. One morning, the 3 bears made porridge for breakfast. Porridge is like an oatmeal or a hot cereal. Mama Bear poured it into 3 bowls. There was a little bowl for Baby Bear, a middle-sized bowl for Mama Bear, and a great big bowl for Papa Bear. "This porridge is too hot," said Baby Bear in a soft little voice. "It is very hot," agreed Mama Bear in her nice medium voice. "Let's go for a walk while it cools," said Papa in his great big voice. So that is what they did. While the bears were out walking, a girl named Goldilocks came upon the cottage. Since no one was at home and the cottage was so inviting, she decided to go in and look around. Once inside, she saw 3 bowls of porridge. "How hungry I am," she said, and sat down to eat. But which bowl of porridge should she eat? She decided to try each bowl to distinguish which was the best. What does distinguish mean? When you distinguish among things, you see the difference in them. You might be able to distinguish between butterflies by looking at their markings. You might be able to distinguish patterns by how they work. So is it an A-B pattern, an A-B-B pattern? And we can distinguish each other by how we look. She tasted the porridge from Papa Bear's great big bowl. "Ouch!" she cried. "This porridge is much too hot." Next, she tasted the porridge from the middle-sized bowl. "Ew," she said, putting the spoon down. "This porridge is much too cold." Then she tasted the porridge in the little bowl. "Mmm," said Goldilocks. "This porridge is just right. It is not too hot or too cold." And Goldilocks ate the entire bowl. What does entire mean? The entire thing is the whole thing. We've been talking about whole this week too, one of our sight words, W-H-O-L-E. So whole is another word for entire. I hope you ate your entire breakfast this morning. After she ate, Goldilocks went into the living room. She noticed there were 3 chairs. Just like the bowls, the chairs were classified by size. What does classify mean? If you classify things, you arrange them in groups. So we've been working on classifying or sorting things this week, putting them into groups by size or type of animal or color or type of hat, type of button. Those are all ways to classify or sort things. There was a great big chair, a middle-sized chair, and a little chair. First, Goldilocks sat in the great big chair, but it was much too hard. Next, Goldilocks sat in the middle-sized chair, but it was much too soft. Finally, she sat in the little chair, which was just the right size. However, as Goldilocks got comfortable, the chair broke. By now, Goldilocks was feeling weary. Weary means tired. So she found the bear's bedroom. First, Goldilocks lay down on Papa Bear's great big bed, but it was too hard. Then Goldilocks tried Mama Bear's middle-sized bed, but it was too soft. At last, she curled up on Baby Bear's little bed and smiled. It was perfect. Meanwhile, the bears had returned home and were quite hungry, so they went to eat their bowls of porridge. When Papa Bear saw his great big bowl, he growled in a loud voice, "Somebody has been eating my porridge." When Mama Bear saw her middle-sized bowl, she said in a regular voice, "Somebody has been eating my porridge, too." And when Baby Bear saw his little bowl, he said in a quiet voice, "Somebody has been eating my porridge, and it's all gone." And he began to cry. Next, the bears went into the living room where Papa and Mama saw that someone had been sitting in their chairs. Poor Baby Bear cried very hard when he saw his broken chair. The bears went to the bedroom where Papa Bear and Mama Bear noticed that someone had been resting in their beds. Baby Bear said, "Someone has been sleeping in my bed. There she is." Goldilocks woke up and was startled to find 3 bears staring at her. So startled means being very surprised by something. So you might be startled when a loud alarm goes off. You might be startled if someone scares you jumping out of a closet. Startled. She was startled to find 3 bears staring at her. She ran out of the house as fast as possible and never came back again. The end. So you guys can go ahead and talk about those words again. Maybe make up your own sentences for organize, distinguish, entire, classify, and startled.